I was probably 14 or 15, and I was listening to Frank Zappa, Inca Roads, his solo, one of the greatest guitar solos for me that I've ever heard. And he was doing this thing with his pick. He called it like a bagpipe sound. And I thought, what is that? And I figured out he was tapping. So I started to experiment with that. I kind of liked what it did. And, I was doing things like, oh, cool, But then I think maybe I was 18 or 18 when Van Halen came out. And once Edward hit the scene, that was tapping, right? And so the tapping I was doing when I was in college and stuff before I heard Edward was it was more limited. It didn't have a great tone. But once we all heard Edward tapping, we're like, oh, okay, there's it. But I didn't want to sound like that. I couldn't. And also, it just felt like, why, But I did like the tapping idea. And the first time I started to develop my tapping technique was when I was in Alcatraz. That's when I really started developing it. Because there was this one riff, and I can't remember what it was, but it was part of the song called Too Young to Die, Too Drunk to Live. Something like that. And it was an Yngwie riff. And it was all these arpeggios. And I ended up, I don't, it's not my style, to play those kind of arpeggios with his, the way he does them. That's a whole style that he's got. So I developed this way of doing it by using these two fingers. So when I was thinking about hammering and tapping, you have this. A lot of people do that. I just don't like that. For some reason, it never felt right using my index finger there. And then you got to fool with the pick. You got to get back to the pick. So I just thought I can hold the pick and actually do tapping with these two fingers. So I started to work on that kind of thing. Very simple, So you get that. So it's these two fingers. And then occasionally, I since I've got the pick there, I can you can use the pick without having to go like this. Some people it's fine, but so when you're tapping, you obviously want to make sure that your notes the notes are sounding good and clean. Now, I will do some flurry type tapping sometime. Kind of thing, but to me, sometimes that sounds a little antiquated, the fast. So, hang on one second. So, what I try to do more these days is kind of figure out ways of tapping that actually are musical. As opposed to just fast riffing. And there's millions of ways there's quite a few ways to learn how to tap, but that's basically my technique. And there's all sorts of variations you can do, that kind of thing. So tapping is, I think, is if you start out slow and you make sure all the notes sound good. There you go.